What? Just kidding, guys. What's going on? How are you guys doing? There is sound tech. You can turn on your you can turn on your mic tech. Can you hear me, tech? Can you hear me, tech? You're muted. Weird. Something is wrong. Okay. Technical difficulties to start off the stream. Good gracious. See if I can fix Tech Gladiator here. He looks pretty. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me, but you can't hear Tech. Right. That's what I thought. Tech, you've got to unmute. Weird. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Skype decided to choose a different speaker and microphone for me because it thought it knew better than me.
See?
Okay, we're good now. It was on my end. But there was no music during the intro. During the intro video, there was no music. Couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, I wasn't playing music for the YouTube video.
For the intro video, there was no sound effects to it, no music or sound effects to
It
it.
showed like it was pushing it through, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it.
Maybe it's muted through the thing. We can always start over if you want to.
Skype is a POS. I hate Skype. It stinks.
Did I change the song audio on OBS to something different? No. sound. No. No. Anyway, guys, let's get on to the podcast. Let's talk about some, now that we got all of our technical difficulties worked out, let's talk about some stuff. Let's talk about Nintendo Switch. Let's talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Let's start off with Nintendo Switch. Tech Gladiator, are you going to buy a Nintendo Switch?
I haven't bought a Nintendo since the Nintendo 64. Well, for myself. Let me correct that. For myself, we bought my youngest son a Wii. Didn't buy them a Wii U. But the Switch does intrigue me. It's a TV console, but also a mobile portable gaming system at the same time.
Yep.
So that has some interest. So you can take your games with you, but also hook it up to the TV and play it on the TV very easily. In a way, I can already do that on PlayStation 4 with PlayStation Vita, but it's been a long time since the last time I did that, so it's not something I do all the time. Anyway, what do you think? Would you get one?
I'm seriously heavily debating about it because for the first time ever, I'm actually asking my question would I play? Do I want to just buy the PS4 version or the PC version, which virtually I'm stuck at my computer desk playing, right? Because that's where I have all my stream setup and stuff. Or do I want to buy a more mobile version where I can go in there, sit on the couch in the living room if I want to? Do I want to, it depends on, to me, it depends on what games are coming, how, the questions, how powerful is it, and what games are coming. And Nintendo, back in the day when the video game crash almost happened, or it did happen in the US, but anyway, Nintendo came out and pretty much saved video games, but the way they did that is they controlled how many games were published to the system and things like that. And Nintendo has a long track record of not being 100% third-party supportive, especially when it comes to mature titles and things like that. So what games are going to be on it, that's a big deal to me. And,
right.
Can the hardware push it? So I don't know, man.
Because I don't find that Nintendo. I mean, we all love Mario and Zelda, but I haven't really played a new Mario or Zelda game since probably the 1990s.
Right.
So it's that's why for me the real question of getting a new Nintendo console is if it has games on it that I would actually play that I couldn't play on PC or PS4. So yeah, tomorrow's is Nintendo Switch. I thought the next one was the Nintendo NX. Nintendo Switch is the code name Nintendo NX. Yeah, it's weird. NX was a code name, kind of like the PlayStation Neo.
Yeah. It's a weird concept. I like the idea of the controller being you got your PlayStation controller, but where the sidebar is, you actually take off the ends, put it around the console, then pick the console up out of the thing, and you're carrying a tablet around. It's just a really neat. It's
a very neat concept,
right? Nintendo's always been about the gimmicks, and I'm okay with gimmicks, but this one seems like it will work. Motion control gimmick, not really into it. VR gimmick, waiting for it not to be a gimmick. But you know what I mean? The motion controls and things like that. I'm glad to see Nintendo finally getting away from that. They're not emphasizing the touchscreen on the console. They're targeting 20 to 30-year-olds. You know what I mean? I'm really looking forward to this. If it's powerful enough and if it's got the games, they really got to bring the games this time, because Wii U was just lackluster. It didn't have anything on it because it was so underpowered. Are we going to run into the same problem on this? So,
right. And I think some games, especially full console and PC quality games, are hard to play, I would think, on a touchscreen. Some games they're designed and made very well for a touchscreen, but I don't really see hardcore long session or games that you're going to spend a lot of time on that would really translate good to touchscreen. You know what I mean? Like your Call of Duties or your Skyrims or Fallout 4.
Well, hold on.
Type stuff.
One of the thing is if they're going after this casual market, this casual crowd that they had with the Wii, one of the gimmicks that you could pull. Like, gimmicks are important. Gimmicks are what made Nintendo, right? That's what Yo on YouTube says. He says, don't forget about that. Thanks to their gimmicks, home console is what it is now, and I totally agree with that. But the gimmicks got to be into game. So I lost my train of thought here. It happens. But I got it back with the Wii. The motion controls, like the first time you can go to the retirement home and see Grandma playing because she wanted a Wii. That's what the Wii did. You know what I mean? It brought all these casual gamers in, and I think you can retain that because rumors speculate that the Nintendo is a dual touchscreen thing on the Switch, right? So if you've got Candy Crush and things like that going, you'll need that touchpad. You'll need that touch interaction to your.
Because there's some games that are like Candy Crush that are made specifically for a touch interface.
Right. So yeah, Nintendo Switch. I'm thinking about it, man. I really want one. What about you, Twitch chat and YouTube chat? You guys?
Yeah. What do you guys think?
But I don't know. The last Nintendo that I have a Wii, but the last Nintendo console I was really into was probably the GameCube. You know what I mean? And even then, it was the beginning of the end for third-party publishers on Nintendo products because, your mom needs a touchpad. Peace Smoke says your mom needs a touchpad. Kappa.
He says your mom needs everything.
No, he doesn't. He's so funny. But anyway, that's what I think about Nintendo Switch. Now, specs. The rumored stuff is this will come sometime between March 17th and March 19th as official dates. Another thing is that it's 720p on the go, 1080p 60 frames per second in front of the TV. However, it's not as powerful as an Xbox One, which it being an Integra processor, I would, if it's a true spiritual successor, right, to the NVIDIA Shield, which I think it would be, right? You would hope it would be. I would place that between the Xbox One and the PS4. Not Scorpio or PS4 Pro. I'm talking base model, somewhere between Xbox One and PS4. But they're saying that it's probably not as powerful as an Xbox One because it's only got 4 gigs RAM running in it. But again, that's not confirmed. That's just speculation and rumor. You know what I mean? Like,
right. They haven't released any specs on it yet, have they? Like, as far as that kind of stuff goes.
Stormbowling 17 says, how much do we think that the Nintendo Switch will cost? I'm thinking if Nintendo needs to hit that price point of $300 because that's how much a PS4 base is right now, or the PS4 Slim, and that's how much the Xbox One S is right now. So they need to hit that, like, you know what I mean? That $299.
A friend of mine at work is planning on getting an Xbox One S for $250 on a Black Friday sale. 1 terabyte hard drive, Xbox One S, $250.
Yo says he heard differently about the specs from people actually in contact with the Switch. I hope so. I hope it's more powerful. I hope when I say it's the Integra, it's using the Integra processor. What I'm really hoping is that, like I said, if it's a true 100% spiritual successor, if it's the NVIDIA Shield was like carrying around your GTX 750 tech, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, this is more like carrying around a GTX 970 on the go. How much battery is that going to use? I don't know. I got a lot of questions. Another thing that I'm worried about is what does the Nintendo Store and what does it look like? What does their networking capabilities look like? Because every game has day one patches now and all this other stuff. That's not going to fit on. You're not going to put that on the cartridge. You're going to put that on the SD cards and stuff like that. So,
right.
Uh, a lot of questions, but we'll have to hear it from Nintendo. We won't hear from them until mid-January sometime. So
to get like really some more stats on it,
right. What else? Red Dead Redemption 2 tech. Red Dead
I've
Redemption
not played the
2?
first one, but I know people are excited about it.
People are very excited about it. Anything Rockstar. My concern is, and this is why I'm bringing up Red Dead Redemption 2, not because of the reveal trailer. I mean, a lot's happened since the last month that me and you've talked, but what I want to know is Red Dead Online. Okay, that's like Grand Theft Auto Online, right? If we're being honest about it. So, does this mean the Rockstar is putting an end to traditional storyline, single player DLC content? Because with Grand Theft Auto 5, there was no single player DLC content. It's all been multiplayer DLC content. Tech.
Every single bit of it, so they haven't released any single player at all for it. Other than the main game itself, obviously. Right. Interesting.
So, I don't know.
That's another game I've not gotten to play.
Well, see, look, the reason this bothers me a little bit that they're not working on single player DLC content is because they showed the big three why it was important, right? Because Red Dead Redemption, they had Undead Nightmare, some of the greatest, DLC, single player DLC ever, and it trickled over into multiplayer. Like there's multiplayer skins and stuff like that for Undead Nightmare. Grand Theft Auto 4, of course, two big story DLCs. You had the Lost and the Damned, and you had the Ballad of Gay Tony, which the Ballad of Gay Tony is better than Grand Theft Auto 4, the main game, in my opinion. So I thought it was fantastic. No more story DLC, just work on multiplayer stuff. Is that because I guess it's more profitable? You get guys coming back.
Well, I know
repeatedly for microtransactions and stuff. Go ahead.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done. I know multiplayer kind of like for some games kind of brings more playability or replayability to it. Like once you've done the single player stuff, because there's like a different sort of interaction in a game when you're playing with other people, whether with or against them and stuff. It's different than like playing with or against AI, and that's one thing I like about games that added multiplayer to them is it like once you finish that because you're like once you finish a game you're like, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to play next? Of course, if you have a long backlog, that's not a big deal. But if like say you're on a limited budget, and you only got so many games you can buy, you want something that you're going to be able to play for a while till you're able to get another game. And sometimes multiplayer is maybe almost I don't know if I would say cheap because there's probably a lot of infrastructure involved in multiplayer and everything, but it's, I guess, an easy way to keep replayability. But then you also have single player games like Bethesda and other games that allow modding of their games, and those mods a lot of times can add replayability by user created content. But it a lot of times still involves like, your fellow gamers and stuff, either playing with them in multiplayer or them creating content or you creating content and stuff to keep a game's longevity and stuff. Because sometimes you don't want to go and buy a $60 game that you're going to play for a week and then it's like, well, I just spent $60 and now I'm done with this game. Now I got to find something else to play.
Yeah, there's got to be a little bit more length to it, and there's got to be a little bit more hook to it. You know what I mean? A little bit more meat to make me care about. But yeah, I totally get you. So if it that's another question. Should single player with no multiplayer components be $60? Should multiplayer only games with no single player components, should they be $60? Or are we paying too much in games and things like that? And there's been a large interest that maybe we're going too many games going all multiplayer and single player fading out altogether, which I hope isn't the case.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just like to be on your own there.
sometimes you get as much as I've liked multiplayer, I'm kind of like getting a little tired of it, wanting to play some more single player stuff.
Right, got you. But of course, I'm looking forward to Red Dead. Red Dead is going to be something special. It's Rockstar. That's what Rockstar does. They're awesome at it. Not worried about it. But
here's another question: does every single AAA game have to have DLC? Can't you have, like back in the old days where it was just the one game and you got what you got and that was it? Just, do you always have to have DLC?
Here's the thing.
It seems like today you do. It seems like just about every game has, if it's a major release,
right,
big publisher game anyway, it's got to have some DLC with it, or they just go nuts or something.
Well, see, the thing is $60 games are cheaper than they've ever been. They're $60, right? Which with inflation and everything, you would agree that games are the cheapest that they've ever been in our entire.
And going by like inflation and stuff like that, definitely, yeah.
So, and these games cost billions of dollars to make. So, how do you get the money back on that? Because sometimes you're just above your margin, profit margin, or you're breaking even just on the $60 purchase, right? Unless you're Rockstar or Call of Duty and you're selling millions of copies. So, how do you make the money back on that? You sell DLC, you sell extra content, you develop extra content to put out, or you work in microtransactions. That's why all this is around. And day one, pre-order bonuses and things like that. It's to get more money to make more profit on the back end, because publishers,
a lot of times with and with a lot of times with DLC, since it's pretty much digitally delivered and stuff, you don't have any production cost as far as like physical media for it. So they probably save money in that too by being able to, like, because they know some people are going to want to buy their physical copy of the game, so they got to, put cost into actually manufacturing those physical copies. But with DLC, they don't have to make any physical copies of that, because everybody always knows if you're getting DLC, it's always going to be digital to to download and everything. So it's like all you got to do is produce this once, and then every time you sell it, it's just a download. You don't have to make extra copies of it or produce anything. So I guess there's that too.
Shadow King says we have nice backgrounds. Thank you. We're in our starships. That's what we do.
Yep.
Let's see. Another thing, Bethesda. Have you heard about this? Bethesda, no more review copies.
Yes, I have.
Until the day before the game releases. What do you think about that?
I'm wondering why. Like what? Because I know even with the Skyrim special edition, they'd released like copies out like 2 weeks ahead of time and stuff for people to play and try it out and everything. On YouTube, YouTubers showing it and everything. So I'm like, why? What made them change their mind? Like, what happened? Did something happen? Like something go wrong with a review or something with giving early copies away?
No,
if it's worked for them. Yeah, it doesn't make sense as to why they just suddenly decided to not after they just did it for Skyrim.
No, I think the thing is that Doom was, the review copy came out the day before the game. Everybody got, does this mean that the game's going to be bad? You know what I mean? Like, does this is Bethesda afraid of Doom reviewing bad because it's been in development hell for so long, and all this other stuff? No, they knew they had a great game. They had to have known they had a great game, right? And so the game comes out the next day, and it's perfectly fine. It's probably the greatest single-player first-person shooter game that we've had in ages, probably since Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, you know what I mean? So I don't know what the draw is, but here's the thing is Bethesda's not dumb, only they benefit from this, because what do we see happen with some reviews? A review can hurt you, right? Like if you get a bad review, If you send review copies out in good faith and you get a bad review, your game is going to take a hit on sales. However, if you take away that and you control the message 100%, you do nothing but benefit from it. So
let me make sure I am understanding too. So for Doom, they only gave out review copies like a day before it came out for Doom?
Yes.
Okay. But with Skyrim, the special edition, they gave it out like a couple weeks ahead of time.
No, one day before.
No, because there was like reviews on YouTube like 2 weeks ahead of time with people who had been given copies by Bethesda.
Oh, yeah, they're playing. I don't know how that works because they were talking in the press thing that Dishonored 2 and Skyrim upcoming, that trend will continue with not getting review copies till the day before. So,
well, that's weird. Why they?
Well, maybe the PC remaster came out. The free update thing came out before the console game released.
Only a day before, like, or actually even like just hours before. But there was somebody reviewing it on PlayStation 4 on YouTube like 2 weeks ahead of time that had been given a review copy from Bethesda.
Do I think that games should move more towards team-based games like Overwatch with no single player? No. Shadow King.
No, we need single-player games.
Yeah, we need single-player games.
Because I talk to a lot of people that still like to only play single-player games and don't play multiplayer games. Now that I actually work outside the home, I actually get to talk to people about video games. And there's quite a few people I work with that they talk about Call of Duty. They're referring to the single player and the zombies. No, they don't even like the multiplayer. They even on the older ones, all they care about, like, they like the campaign, they like the zombies. So
a lot of people, especially the main chunk of people who play games my age, they don't like multiplayer games. So I don't know.
I'm kind of an exception because I have enjoyed multiplayer games, but maybe it's because I'm getting old and I'm starting to suck at multiplayer games and I just want to play single player games so I don't have to feel inferior. I don't know. What do you think? You be the judge.
But no, thinks it's old. But back on to Bethesda, they're the only ones that benefit from this. I think it's a little bit consumer unfriendly, and I think that, you know, that they're pretty much, you know, not putting a whole lot of, they don't have to put the faith into the product anymore because they know people are going to be hyped on these IPs, right? You know, you're going to be hyped when the next Elder Scrolls comes out. Look how much hype was behind Fallout, right? When Fallout 4 came out, like, huge hypes. They know people's going to get hyped on Doom, or whatever they're doing. Wolfenstein. They know people are going to buy those games. So why?
But it almost makes you think, like, hey, we know everybody's going to be hyped. We can just be lazy and make a crappy game, and everybody's going to be hyped and buy it. We'll just only let them review it a day before, so the bad reviews don't ruin our sales. I mean, I would hope that they're not really going to do that, but it almost makes it seem like, yeah, we just want to be slackers now and don't want to really make a really good game.
No, I don't think they're going to do that. I'm just saying.
Nah.
I don't know. It's not like.
It makes you wonder, though. It makes you wonder, like, why? Why are they doing this?
Well, I already told you because they have everything to gain and nothing to lose by doing this, right?
That's true.
So.
Right. And they said too, like, if people want to wait until they hear reviews before nobody's holding their guns saying you have to buy it on day one.
Which is true, but
you know, some people want to get it on day one, whether they hear,
because if you don't get it on day one, man, you can't get such and such DLC. You can't get this and this and this added in with the game. They can control that too if they wanted. And should you trust the company? No, you shouldn't trust any company 100%. You know what I mean? Like,
they're out to make money.
Yeah, they're not out to be your friend. They're not out to be your buddy. They're out to take that money. and look like they're being your buddy in the process. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
that's what
To make
that's
you
all
want
about.
to give them your money and love them for taking your money. I take my money, please. I don't want it.
Veggie says, well, at the same time, we do have to think about that Tag Instant Group with like one player, single player games were the only thing, while our generation is all about the multiplayer online. Actually, you know where the next big push is going to be. Everybody's going to be
I'm
playing.
going to mute myself for a second. Mrs. Text calling me.
Everybody's going to be playing games on their phone. You just wait. It's going to happen. You know what's going to happen, right? Everybody's going to be playing games on their phone. While Take's doing his thing over there, and he's all muted up, do you guys have a topic that you guys want to talk about in chat? Let me know. Tomorrow, guys, no YouTube video, and the stream may be a little bit late on Twitch because, well, I have things to do. I've been summoned to jury duty. Yay. Hey, guys, and on Friday, if you're part of the Discord community, that's awesome. We're going to be watching the new Kevin James movie. We're actually going to watch it on Rabbit, but we're going to meet on Discord first. So make sure you're part of the Discord community. If you don't care, that would be awesome. If you need an invite, let me know. But we're going to be showing the new Kevin James movie. It's called The True Memoirs of an International Assassin. It looks funny as hell. It's going to premiere on Netflix. That is the first day anybody's going to watch it. We're going to watch it together, and I hope you guys can come hang out for that. It looks, like I said, it looks funny as hell. It's going to be a good time. Hey, welcome back, Tech.
So this movie is like a new premiere that's premiering on Netflix?
Yes.
Oh, is it the one where him and his wife, like, they have neighbors move in and they're like secret agents and stuff?
No. He's writing.
Oh, no, that's not Kevin James. That's that other guy that.
Yeah, this is Kevin James. He's writing a novel about an assassin, and I guess some chick asks if she can publishes it, and he said he agrees or something, and she says that it's all true, 100% true. So his novel life crosses over into his real life, if that makes sense. People think he's I don't know. It looks funny. I think it's going to be a fun movie. So
cool.
How about you, Tech? You got any last topics here or anything? Not last. We still got a little bit to go. But
no, I don't have to go. No, she was just asking me about something.
All right, well, let me tell you guys something.
I can't think of anything.
So I've been Netflix binge watching like crazy. Okay, first of all, it started off with me watching Flash season 2 on Netflix. When it came to Netflix, Flash season 2, awesome.
It was awesome.
I like how they handled Jay Garrick and the Zoom guy. What's his name? Hunter Zolomon. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I like how they handled that because it's very, it's pretty cool.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Arrow season 4. It's not the best season, but it was still good. It's to me, I thought it was better than season 3, a little bit. But it's still not the best season, overall season. Legends of Tomorrow.
You did, yeah. I was going to ask if you watched that. I haven't finished watching that one yet.
I like Legends of Tomorrow, but it because it's an ensemble, and I've noticed this too in the Arrow and Flash, when they do crossover bits. It's like they're trying to fit too much into an episode. The same, all the ensemble episodes, it's like they're trying to fit too much in there, and it screws up the pacing. It feels like the pacing is off because they can't touch on all the character development moments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying there, because that's one of the problems I always had with team books. growing up reading comics. Why I would only read them maybe for a little bit and then kind of leave them because my interest was always maybe on specific characters, and they'd maybe have to be because of the limitations of time. You'd maybe focus too much on characters I didn't have any interest in, and I'm like, I don't want to read about this character.
We know shows can
for this character.
we know shows can do it. We see shows like Star Trek and The Next Generation and shows like that do ensemble casts really, really well. And if anything can do it, TV can. But it just feels like in the DC, they're fine when they're telling their own show, you know what I mean? But the ensemble stuff, it just feels like it's going too fast, and we're never really taking time to get to know Sarah Lance and the Legends of Tomorrow. We're not really getting time to know Ray Palmer or you know what I mean, Captain Cold. So, you know,
they're just background characters, even though they're main characters. Sometimes they only seem like they're
static background characters. Yeah. So I don't know. That's how I felt about that.
I can understand that. Yeah.
But the big thing
I like the show as far as the storyline and what's going on and stuff. But it's hard sometimes to get what you want out of each character exactly.
But the big thing is, and you guys are not going to believe this, but another thing that I've been binge watching is because I saw a preview thing for The Walking Dead, the new season. I have never watched The Walking Dead, so I started watching The Walking Dead, and I think the zombies are stupid. As slow as they move, when this outbreak starts happening, right? Why not mow them down with 50 caliber guns? Why not take that? You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're in a rush to get to you.
How the heck did they overwhelm everybody in the first place?
When they move as slow as they do. I just don't get it. I never will. But the characters in The Walking Dead, I will surrender, are some of the greatest TV characters of all time.
They are. That's what keeps you watching. Even I think even the comics for The Walking Dead, whether it's the comics or the TV show, the zombie apocalypse is more kind of a backdrop for the story of these characters. It's the story of these characters and what they have to go through, whether they're dealing with zombies or even other humans that are even worse than the zombies to deal with and everything. So it's more like the whole zombie thing is just kind of a background, just the setting for their story,
I haven't, I've never watched it before. A couple of weeks ago, Veggie. I am currently on the third episode of season 4, which to tell you that there's a sickness in the prison and they have to divide everybody, and that's where I'm at. The governor has gone AWOL. They don't know where he's at and stuff like that, but he's a threat and he's still out there. But
that's the thing you got to worry about too. You think you're safe, or we got the zombies all out there, but then suddenly just somebody dies on you in the background you don't know about, and they turn to zombies. Yeah, and somebody at them, and all of a sudden it's all over the place again.
But Veggie, I I can't believe I'm saying I recommend a zombie something because I hate zombies. I always out of all the crypto zoology, whatever, I've always thought zombies were the dumbest things ever, but that show's actually pretty good. So
it is a good show, very good show.
But yeah, that's been my Netflix thing. What have you guys been watching on Netflix and stuff? What about you, Ted?
I'm trying to catch up on the DC shows because I did get behind on them, and so I got caught up on Flash season 2. So did get caught up on that. We're watching Supergirl. Yeah, I know it's girl power show.
Yeah, I watched 3 episodes of Supergirl, and I'm just not feeling it.
It kind of it gets better. It does start off kind of slow, but it's actually getting better. And I'm actually wanting to get finished on this season because I want to get to season 2 where they actually have Superman on it and stuff. Because I've heard a lot of good things about this new TV version of Superman and how it's way better than the current movie version of Superman. So,
well, I hope it is. I really, really do. Moving the topics along, Facebook announces its Steam competitor.
Facebook has a Steam competitor?
Yeah, Facebook is launching their new game room. And it's supposed to be a video game client, much like Steam. The problem is that these are all, it's like Hearthstone and CS:GO knockoffs. Like, we're not good enough to be CS:GO. This is the CS:GO you would normally play on your phone, or the Call of Duty knockoff that you'd play on your phone, but we're going to put it here on Facebook. You know, they're trying to reach out to gamers. And this isn't, what the fuck? Die, Facebook. I know, right? Shadow King, there you go.
Like, Facebook could never compete with Steam with
and
games.
This isn't here's the thing. We know that these mobile games are mostly played by the casual gamer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're not targeting the casual gamer like your grandma who plays Farmville. They're not doing that, or you know what I mean? Like, they're focusing on us, the more people who actually play games with controllers and shit. So it's kind of a weird thing. And
don't spend very much time on Facebook, because we got other more interesting things to do than just watch or read about other people's statuses.
It got me to thinking. It got me to thinking why. And you know what? The only thing I can think of is, the only thing I can think of is that they wanted to buy Steam, and Steam was not for sale. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, that would have sucked if Facebook took over Steam.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Like, they wanted to buy.
Next thing you know, there'll be a Facebook game console.
They wanted to buy a platform, but none of them are for sale because video games are the most profitable media out there right now. You know what I'm saying? Video games way more profitable than movies or television. So Facebook wants a chunk of that revenue, right? They want to get into that, but none of the platforms are selling because they're all successful right now and they're making money, they're making bank. So, you know, some PR guy was like given the task, get us a video game platform, get us into the video game industry. And the guy was like, well, shit, Steam's not for sale. They're not going to let me buy a Steam. So, you know what? We'll make our own platform. And this is what it is. So,
look at Amazon. Amazon's like breaking into video games. They've even got their own. They bought the Cry engine from Crytek, and they basically made it into their own game engine for people to use to create games and use Amazon Web Services for like network features of the games and stuff.
Shadow King keeps bringing up that Facebook owns Oculus. Yeah, they own Oculus. But, you know...
Why did they buy Oculus? Have they done anything with it?
You know what? I think the reason for buying Oculus is not particularly for video games. I think it's because they're letting Oculus do their own thing, especially when it comes to the video game side of it. But here's the thing about VR that we need to get to. If VR is going to take off, it's going to take off in video games. No doubt about that. We all agree on that. That's why the VR video game thing is a thing. That's why you got PlayStation VR. You got Xbox putting out their version of whatever. They've got like 3 headsets. It's kind of a weird situation.
Augmented reality or something. And they are working on a VR thing, I think, for Windows 10, from what I understand.
Yeah. And then you got Oculus. You've got the Vive. So... But after the video games, let's say that it no longer becomes a gimmick in video games. There's actually 100% true experiences that are full length and all that stuff. After this gimmicky 15-minute experience stage, right, where we get into the 8-hour experiences and things like that.
What do you think about Skyrim and Fallout 4? Bethesda's already said that they will support VR for both of those.
I think it's great. I think it's going to be awesome.
That would definitely be more than a short little.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing, though. One of the things I think maybe the reasons why that they've had shorter experiences with VR is because you got to tackle the problem of, like, some people might have to deal with motion sickness and stuff like that. Especially if your body is like sitting, but in the game you're moving, your mind kind of gets that motion sickness trying to, I don't even know what the word I'm trying to think of, but trying to get that together. Like, hey, I'm sitting here and yet I'm seeing things like as if I'm moving. Now, if you're in a vehicle in the game where you're sitting in the vehicle and the vehicle's moving, that's one thing. But if your body's supposed to be moving but you're actually sitting, that can cause like motion sickness because your brain's like, whoa, something doesn't feel right here. You puke all over your
But what I was talking about is there's more to the video game side of it. There's application use outside of video games, and that's Facebook's interest. Getting back to that, I think that's Facebook is more interested in what VR is capable of outside of video games.
Good point. Like you could like have a face-to-face conversation with somebody through VR or something potentially. More than
and the you want to talk about walking simulators and things like that. Yeah, exactly. As a learning tool or as a training tool, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine training to be a doctor or surgeon via VR. You know what I mean? Or
right, you don't have to get cadavers and stuff.
Right. I think it's gonna be really something. I think that's where Facebook's interest in VR is. It's outside of the
astronaut training.
There you go. Yes. The more danger, or flight sims, stuff like that.
Flight simulators, yep. Military simulation. Of course, that kind of goes on the realm of video games because the military has used video games as a training tool.
Tilgar says this is already out there. Yeah, it is, but I'm thinking that this would, Facebook's interest in Oculus, and if video games get it done well, this will make it more mainstream and more practical to use.
But let's face it. Us Star Wars fans, who wouldn't want a VR experience where you're in an X-wing fighter getting ready to attack the Death Star?
Are you going to buy Battlefront now? Because it's like a little 10-minute, 15-minute VR mission?
Well, I'd have to be able to afford a VR headset. But I mean, I can think about that. I'm like, that's like dream wish fulfillment, there right now. Oh yeah, flying X-wing. Okay, come on. All right, I'm getting a little experience.
Tilgar says Elite Dangerous is a full experience. Yeah. But here's the thing: is there are some full.
You're right.
All right, there are some full experiences, but right now they're minimal. You know what I mean? Like most of the PS4 experiences or the vibes, they're 15-minute games. So I'm not saying there's not these full experiences, but you're not getting like a full-fledged. A lot of the games are not full-fledged right now for it. A lot of them is 10-15-minute little experiences, and I know it's because it's hard to craft those experiences. So let's say there's 100 games, probably 5 or 10 are full experiences. The other 80 games, they're like little 10-15-minute demos. So right now it is just a gimmick. There's just not enough there. The barrier to entry is too high, and there's just not enough games there. Welcome back, Tech. What do you think?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like it's a lot of demo experiences, like almost maybe like arcade-ish experience. Like when you play a game in an arcade, it's not going to be like your long, lengthy games like at home and stuff. Just some kind of quick experience kind of thing. And who wants to spend $60 for something you're only going to play for an hour, even if it is like super awesomely VR-ish?
Right. So. Yep.
Yeah, I could get that. But then again, if it's like so awesome that even though it's only an hour, you'd want to play it again and again and again. It's like, oh man, I want to be in this always, or something like,
Beast Mode says your mom's a quick experience. Shots fired.
Hey, don't blame my mom just because you only last like 2 seconds, man. It's not my mom's fault.
Oh wow.
Maybe it's your quick experience.
Let's see. Is there anything left?
Premature and all that stuff. But Telgar mentioned Elite Dangerous. Yeah, Elite Dangerous is available to play on VR already. So that Elite Dangerous would be a very awesome game to play VR. That would be like, yeah.
All right, one last topic. Let's get it done really quick. And that topic is the topic of Titanfall 2. Okay, now the reason I want to bring up Titanfall 2 is because, hey, Evercast, what's going on? Bigger insult would be if she didn't get you any XP. Oh, okay.
You're insulted if she didn't. One thing though, I know you don't like games about work, but I've heard that Work Simulator VR game is really, really fun.
Yeah, no. Okay. What I was saying is let's talk about Titanfall 2 because, oops, we got a new follower. Let's see, and I did not see who it was because the alerts are off. I had to throw. By the way, guys, because we moved everything over from OBS Standard to OBS Studio. I was trying to set this up like 10 minutes before the stream. I ran out of time and I was like,
right.
But we're going to talk about Titanfall 2 release. Its release window is what we're going to talk about, because here's the thing with Titanfall 2. D Jackson 7581, thank you for that follow, man, on Twitch. I appreciate it, brother. I love your face. The release, it's like a week after Battlefield 1, but a week before Infinite Warfare. It's like the suicide slot for this game, Titanfall 2, right? But here's the interesting thing. Titanfall 2 is to Titanfall 1 like Assassin's Creed 2 is to Assassin's Creed. The game is awesome. And nobody's playing it. How crazy is that?
A game is actually good.
It's got like a Metacritic score of like 90, whereas Call of Duty Infinite Warfare has a Metacritic score right now of like 60.
See, this is what's going to destroy the video game industry, because the video game companies are going to be like, hey, people only want to play crappy games, so let's just put out more crappy games and we'll make more money. Nobody wants to play these good games. Don't make good games. Make crappy easy to make games that we can make in 5 minutes and make tons of money off. Everybody's going to buy it and play it. We don't have to spend a lot of time.
I don't know about that. This is on EA, though. They thought that Titanfall would go head-to-head with Call of Duty. What were you thinking? Putting it there in the Battlefield 1... Face it, the most popular shooters right now, for FPS shooters right now, are the Battlefield franchise and the Call of Duty franchise. Now, whether you like either one of them or not, that's irrelevant. The fact is, those are the most popular. So you put the new boy right in between the two popular games, and one of them's your own. So not only are you, having the Call of Duty fans feed off the sales of this thing because they're buying Call of Duty instead of this, but you're also cannibalizing the other half of those sales with your good shooter coming out before,
setting yourself up for failure, basically.
Why would you do that? Who thought that was a good idea?
You're talking about EA here. Who knows what their executives did? Their executives even know anything about video games?
But they set this game out to die, and the problem is what Respawn Entertainment, the people who made Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, despite you guys thinking that Call of Duty 4 Remastered is going to be the greatest thing in the world, I heard that there was a lot of technical problems with it, but I don't know. But these guys that have went on to move on to make other games, Titanfall 2 is actually a fantastic game. It's outscoring critically Infinite Warfare, and nobody's playing it, nobody's buying it because it's not got that Call of Duty name, it's not got that Battlefield name, and it's just in a bad release spot.
Maybe it wasn't marketed and promoted enough by EA.
I don't know. That's just... What do you think, Tech?
Yeah. See, Evercast even said it's about the marketing. Yep.
Why would you market? Why would you even try to market that game in the middle of Call of Duty and you know what I'm saying?
EA executives. These are the people that bring Madden games to E3, thinking people are going to get excited about it. You know.
Did they? But then you got to look at it, and you got to think that they wanted this game to fail. It just baffles me as well. I just don't understand. What about you, Tech?
The executive mindset is not something easily understood.
Right.
They got too much more money than sense.
That I can agree with that. Okay. But I think that's going to do it for us. I had a good time taking an hour out. We'll do this again next month, Tech, if you're up for it. Do want to shout out, because I can see the viewer list on Twitch. I can't on YouTube, so I'm sorry. I do want to thank the 2 commenters, though, on YouTube. We had Splatoon Pro and Yo. Thank you so much for watching. I also want to thank Tilgar, Pole, Staunton, Stormbowling 17, Sharpbait 201, Shadow King X, Saya and Chico, Evercast 92, Tech Gladiator, Tomorrow Snow, SSJ Vegeta 2, and Peace Monks over on Twitch. Thank you guys so much. I will be back. I don't know what time I'll be here tomorrow. It will be late. I have something to do tomorrow that I don't want to do, but I have to, or you get fined and go to jail. So that's jury duty. Sucks a nut. But
there you go. See, Evercast knows what I'm talking about. They spend all their time making money and not playing games, so they don't know.
Yeah, it's probably true.
They don't know.
Never trust a guy who says he's a gamer and wears a suit.
Yeah, what gamer wears a suit?
I might get a little bit in trouble on YouTube for this, but you guys wanted music, so I'm going to put a little bit of music out there for you on our way out. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you, Tech Gladiator, for being here today, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And you guys have an awesome one. Love your faces.